Hello, welcome to Artnet's. Welcome from the church. Welcome to Artnet's webinar series, A Closer Look. And today we're going to be talking about how to buy NFTs, or really all things related to NFTs. And I'm the head of post-war and contemporary art at Artnet Auctions, and also head of the current NFT sale that centers around the Pepe project and is titled Fields Rare Man. And I'm joined here by Colborn Bell, who is the infamous founder of the Museum of Crypto Art. And we are live streaming this from a proper church that will, Colborn, you want to say something about the location?
Yeah, you know, we're here in Kingston, New York, in a church built in 1884, which is being re-envisioned as the Museum of Crypto Art. So it will be both an artist residency and a kind of open space community center for the exploration of all things digital arts, augmented reality, and virtual reality.
Super cool. You're dropping all the terms already. Augmented reality, virtual reality. Let's cover the NFTs first.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we'll take it from there. So yeah, the idea for today is really just a casual conversation. Colborn has been in the crypto space for a long time and does have a background in finance, right?
Finance, social impact.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we have
wealth management.
We have a lot of brain power here with this one and experience. Me, myself, I've been a big fan of digital art for a long time, but I was not sort of early on in the crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum world.
We say you're still early.
All right.
We're all still early.
So over the past 12 months, I've went through like a steep learning curve, and I wanted to share some of that process with all of you because I know it's really confusing at times, and there's so many outlets and websites, and what is digital currency? Why do we need it? And what's all this thing about with the digital wallet and the 30-phrase recovery stuff and KYC and all these things that are, you know, I was not familiar with, but I managed to go through with all of them. Bought my first NFT.
Great.
I also got a counterparty wallet, which we're going to cover that.
Yeah, huge.
And so that's sort of where I'm headed, but very casually. You can post questions in the Q&A section, and I encourage you to do that throughout the session at any time, and we can also sort of pause and respond immediately. This is really not supposed to be like a YouTube tutorial and meant to be interactive.
And to be fair, there are best practices, but there is no one way to do anything. So I think we certainly want to invite questions and you know, all levels of knowledge, all questions welcome.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
Yeah,
like, and also like the space is just still very much in flux, and there's new things happening all the time, and new outlets, and even like new regulations, and so on. New York State has actually some of the strictest regulations, which is
they have an incentive to protect their industries.
Yeah, exactly. And so where do we start? Maybe I'll just kick it off with I'll share my screen for a second. Let's see. Did that work? No, that didn't work. There we go. And so here should be my screen. And basically, so in order to buy an NFT, and of course we would love for you to buy your first NFT at Artnet auctions. You will need to create a Metamask wallet. Now, that is a digital wallet provider. There are various providers out there where you can create a wallet. Metamask happens to be the one that's sort of most widely distributed right now. And for the sake of simplicity, we are sort of locked into that specific digital wallet for bidding with Artnet. There's no affiliation with the company. It's just the easiest, and we're really concerned with making this easy for everybody. So you basically go to metamask.io and it will ask you to download their software, which is really an extension to the browser, right?
Yeah, so MetaMask is a internet browser extension. It's effectively a way for you to interact with the Ethereum blockchain from the web. But it will function as a wallet for you. And in that, you know, there is a security component.
As it goes, of course, it's not downloading. That's hilarious. It's because of the screen.
Yeah, that is strange.
Let's just open a new window. Mask.io. Chrome, I think I need to go down here. Yeah, there we go. See, first hurdle. And then you're going to need to add this to your browser. I use Chrome, but I'm sure it works with other browsers as well.
I will say, make sure you go directly to the metamask.io website, as opposed to typing in MetaMask into Google. Scammers are known to kind of mirror websites like this. So just make sure you go directly to the website and not through Google.
Right, metamask.io. Most of these Web3 companies have the IO domain.
Yeah, it is a native.
Kind of like a thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then here it'll ask you to create a wallet, and you have to agree to their terms, and then you have to create a password. So this is just a very simple password. This is not the key to your wallet. I think that's important to know. Secure, we're not going to watch this video. We're just going to go next. And then it asks you to click here to reveal the secret words. Now, this is the actual password and key to your digital wallet, and that you need to really take a piece of paper and write it down in that exact order.
If anybody has access to this secret recovery phrase, they can access and empty the entirety of your MetaMask wallet.
Yeah, without any additional password. This is the direct way into your wallet.
It should never be sent in an email. It should never be copied to a notes application. What really needs to happen with this is it needs to be handwritten on a piece of paper and put in either a safe or a bank vault, or with somebody you absolutely 100% trust. The more redundancies of the secret phrase you have, the more potential attack vectors there are into your wallet. So the security of that is paramount.
For the sake of time, of course, I cheated because I just took this screenshot. So you will see then in the next screen, it does in fact ask you to fill in the words in this exact order. So we're gonna do that now. There we go. Okay, super, click. unfold, click, crawl, enrich. Sorry, this is a bit lengthy, but I just wanted to walk through this thing all the way. Season, issue, regret, capital, clay. Yes. So now we are all done and we can X out of this. So now here, account one, you are able to create multiple wallets with one provider. This is the wallet I just created. And you see here, when you hover over it, it offers you to copy the wallet address to your clipboard. So I'm going to do that right now.
That is what is known as your public key.
Right, so this is publicly accessible.
It's publicly accessible. This is kind of the transparency elements of the blockchain. Anybody with this public key can view all of your transaction history. They can know what NFTs you have in your account because the Ethereum blockchain is transparent and searchable. And that is kind of the unique code which identifies you.
Yeah. So now it does offer here to buy. However, I strongly recommend to use a third-party exchange platform to buy your cryptocurrency. So the way that works is literally like going to the bank, you know, in the old days when you were traveling and you'd bring your dollars and you go to the teller and they give you, I don't know, euros in exchange or whichever other currency. So it's a direct conversion from one currency to the other. And I will walk you through, show you some options for that in a minute. Meanwhile, I wanted to also show how easy it is to now set you up for bidding once you have filled your wallet with the Ethereum currency. So when you go to Artnet auctions, you'll see here is the link to our NFT sale. And when you are on this page, it offers you hold on, I've got to rearrange my screen. So I'm already, let's see. So I'm going to walk you through registering. Really simple. At artnet.com, password, again, password of your choosing with the standard requirements. I agree. Create. Oh, see, I thought I hadn't created one with this account yet. In any case, it will then prompt you. It will send an email to the email account you just registered, and then it will provide a code, and then you come back to inserting that code here on the site. Right now, I'm just going to go and sign in. Now, once you are signed in and you are looking to buy the infamous Pepe Ross, that's you know, a very comical play on the infamous video TV painter Bob Ross, who interestingly here does not paint a landscape, which is the only thing he's ever done, but he paints a portrait of Satoshi Nakamoto, who is the pseudonym, the anonymous founder, inventor of Bitcoin. So you click on this NFT and it gives you all the information here. And then here is the key. It says connect wallet. So I'm now going to go, it opens my Metamask wallet. It already shows my account here. I click on next. I say connect. And voila, I am now connected and able to place my bid. I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and you will see that it won't let me do that because there is no Ethereum currency in my wallet. So the way this works, this is really not like a credit card or any of this sort. We have an on-chain auction. So in order to place a bid, you actually have to have the funds of said bid available in your wallet, and it will then be locked in your wallet until either someone else bids more money or the auction ends, and then you win the lot. So that was that. It's pretty.
And kind of like what that ensures, unlike some auctions out there, is that there is always a seamless transfer of both the artwork and the money. And
there's no pulling out.
There is no pulling out. There is no fake bidding. It's funds up front and it's artwork up front, and then that execution all happens kind of on that Ethereum smart contract. And that's kind of the beauty of Ethereum as a trustless system.
Yeah, that's pretty stunning.
It's definitely new.
Now, last thing I'm going to show, and then we're going to stop the screen share and get to some other stuff to talk about, is the exchange. One of the exchange platforms I would recommend is Coinbase. Another one that's good for higher value transactions is called Kraken. And you see it wants me to fund the account that I created earlier with any of these currencies. So I'm not going to walk through this right now, but when you do that, that's now the step where the company will ask you to KYC, which stands for Know Your Client, and that is a government requirement. No one can get around that. And basically what that means is that in the process, you should have your ID handy, and it will ask you to, provide your ID either as a scan or live into the camera. And then it will likely take a photo of you to verify that you are the person on this ID. And for a regular platform, that should be sufficient to get you started.
Definitely. It's probably no different than the process of opening up a bank account. Obviously, all of these exchanges have to comply with anti-money laundering standards. And yeah, the core requirement is going to be either a driver's license, a passport, a selfie to match it. And then generally they'll ask for either a bank statement with the address on it, or a current utility bill no older than 3 months.
Same as with the bank.
Yeah, it's standard. So Coinbase is where I bought my first crypto. It's a publicly traded company. So you kind of know that they're held to at least public and financial standards of the US.
Yeah, super. So Coinbase is also where I bought my first crypto.
Yeah, they make it easy.
They make it really easy. And I will say, if you're in New York State, it takes a little while for the funds to kind of get activated or whatever. But if you're outside of New York, it goes faster. And there are these so-called over-the-counter services now, which is kind of a funny term, OTC they call it. And they basically, that's an external, it's like a third-party service who does the transaction for you. It's like really super easy and secure, but mostly for higher value transactions, right?
I would say anybody starting out looking to experiment, the beauty and flaw of crypto is that it's all custodial, which means that nobody is responsible except yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So as you are beginning to learn and experiment and play in these systems, generally you want to start with an amount that you are perhaps willing to lose, knowing that
that's encouraging.
I mean, it's just the prudent advice
for a first try.
For a first try, and there is a learning curve here, but.
Ooh, actually, I wanted to demonstrate because I've received this question. So let's say, so on our platform, you can only bid in Ethereum currency, and that's, for various reasons. But if you already own a different cryptocurrency, the conversion from one cryptocurrency to another is immediate and free of charge.
Yeah.
And that's really, it's a super simple process. I went through it myself here. I don't know if I'm logged in now. Oh yeah, okay. So buy and sell. Oh, there we go. Yeah, of course, two-step verification. So there is like no money in this account, which is very common, by the way. People don't really keep assets in their digital wallets. So we can do buy, sell. And then here, instead of buy, sell, it offers you to convert. And I want to convert now from my Bitcoin assets to Ethereum, so I can bid in the auction. And I'm gonna convert $2. Preview. Now here it shows me that this is the current exchange rate. Right now, the current base fee is 0. And this is what I'm going to receive in Ethereum. So I'm going to do convert now. Converted. So that's really quick, no cost, cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen share now.
There's one question.
Oh yeah, no, we got a couple. Gas, yeah, gas fees. I wanted to address that too. Well, maybe Colborn.
Yeah, happy to.
It's a bit of a confusing term because there's no actual gas involved, but
there's no actual gas involved. The way Ethereum is structured is on a system called proof of work. You know, all Ethereum is really just a database of transactions. In order to incentivize people to keep that database of transactions, each time that a transaction is sent, a fee is paid to the people that are keeping that database. And that's what gas is. Gas is a fee to incentivize people to make sure that Ethereum is secure and that everything is correct in that ledger. So obviously, if you know, the ledger has to be 100% accurate 100% of the time, because we are dealing with money and value, and you know, you wouldn't want the bank suddenly to show whatever $10,000 less in your account. So keeping that secure ledger is of utmost priority, and the gas fee is what you pay to ensure that that happens.
I guess it's like it's actually very transparent because you're using a service and you're paying for it versus I don't know, you go to Google and
it's effectively
you pay for your service, you pay for their service in other ways.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah,
it's very
like,
clear.
It's like paying a toll for a toll road.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good question. I thank you for posing that. I also see here, what is the difference between a crypto wallet and an NFT wallet? Interesting question.
Yeah, so effectively there is no difference. You know, Ethereum, NFTs that are Ethereum based can be held in any Ethereum wallet. And you know, so an NFT is a token standard that can be created on places like Bitcoin with the rare Pepes. Ethereum is the most common. Many artists are creating on Tezos, and Solana is probably the top 4. So you can have NFTs on each of those blockchains, and you know, respective to each of those blockchains, you will have to hold that NFT in a wallet on that blockchain. So I would imagine, because you know, you are paying in Ethereum, that these rare Pepes have been wrapped, or
actually no, we're looking to keep them on counterparty.
On counterparty.
If
that makes sense.
The winning bidder provides a counterparty wallet, it will go there. Otherwise, it could be wrapped. This is a whole other topic where you basically transfer a token from one chain to another chain, which can be reversed and is sort of offers more flexibility in moving between the chains.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, yes, it is the same, but there are different types of wallets for different blockchains.
Correct. There is no universal wallet for all of the blockchains. Each using a blockchain means that you will have to have a wallet on that chain.
Is there an expiration date for blockchain technology?
Is there an expiration date? It's not milk.
I guess I could see where this question comes from because, you know, in the art collecting community, it's like ever since media art became a thing in the 60s.
Sure.
There's been all these various technologies since, and then, you know, video collectors had to like digitize their assets and go from, you know, a tape recorder to a CD player to a DVD player to, you know, all those things. Today, everything's a media player, of course, and digitized.
I see blockchain as foundational to the world as the internet. I see a tremendous global need for trustless exchange systems and global internet value transfer. It's quicker, it's more efficient, it's digital based. So, you know, nothing in life is forever, but I think the scope and scale of opportunity here is perhaps beyond anything that we can see in our lifetime.
Yeah, it's really revolutionary.
Yeah. It's fundamental.
Which may be one term we should address real brief that's been floating around everywhere also recently is the metaverse.
Sure.
Which, I don't know, I would describe as a virtual reality, right?
Yeah.
A space where you can buy digital land to do things.
I think of the metaverse as many spaces. I think it's really just the idea that there is a digital overlay of ourselves in the physical reality. So, you know, I think Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I think these are all versions of the metaverse in which people aren't necessarily presenting who they are, but perhaps like idealized or stylized versions of themselves. You know, a common conception of the metaverse is something like Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, yeah.
Right, in which, you know, there's
more Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
From a few years ago, actually.
Yeah, a few years ago. In which there is more of the idea of kind of a virtual world and people occupying various avatars in this world and all sorts of games and land and items. And but for me, it's also as simple as just like a Snapchat filter or any way that people are like conveying and projecting identity into digital spaces.
So, Colborn, why should we be buying NFTs?
Oh, I mean, I think there is a market shift in consumption preferences of the younger generation. And I kind of sit on this interesting cusp of having grown up knowing what the world was like without the internet, but also heavily participating in it afterwards. And I think young minds now are trained to operate, to be social in digital spaces, to value the way they present themselves and their identity in digital spaces. And they want to be mobile. They want to travel. They don't want to like be attached to any one thing. So I think they seek fluidity.
That's such a good point. Yeah, you can't always have your paintings with you, but you have all your NFTs on your phone or your laptop or
exactly. So, and that still becomes a key part of their real life identity is being a patron of art, or being a collector of art, or for me, it's wonderful because the cost to store my collection of NFTs, the cost to keep the museum, is effectively zero. I don't, and I don't have to pay for storage and handling or insurance or conservation, preservation. Yeah, it's hugely beneficial to the lifestyle that I want to live, and I imagine the lifestyle that a younger generation of art patrons will also.
I think one important thing to add also for our audience here is that there really no two NFTs are alike, and NFT also doesn't necessarily delineate an artwork digital asset. It could be any digital asset. So as with the traditional art world, there are many people who are hobby painters or graphic designers, and then there are others who go through years and years of art school and training, and they make works that land in museums ultimately. So it's a space where you need to do your homework as everywhere else. And I will say the auction we have live right now, I'm excited about, because it really is a project that was based on an open call to artists around the world to produce a digital artwork that somehow contains the Pepe frog image, or has green in it, or some kind of connotation to that end. And they're very creative products, one of a kind, even though, some of them are released in editions, but each work was made by a person.
There really is no community, I think, that is more, perhaps also with Dada, is more kind of key and critical to the evolution and eventual development of this entire industry. So you go back to those people, they were the earliest, they were the people that were really advocating for this technology. And they were having, the most fun with it. And
for sure.
Yeah. And it was really just born of that freedom to express, to be creative, to push one another. And it's a real, badge of pride to be involved in that community, I think, in any way. So kudos to you for pushing forward on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it's been so much fun. The video intro you saw in the beginning was made by a Pepe artist called Indelible. And he was part of the community pretty early on. And he sort of just threw this together in a day or two.
Yeah.
So the skill set is really mind-blowing.
There's an interesting question. How do you evaluate quality of an NFT artwork?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of where I was trying to head, right? It is very tricky because it is such a young category still. And I think it is good to seek advice from people who are immersed in the space and have gained knowledge, such as Colborn here, who has been collecting and building a proper museum collection for a long time. I'm also here to help, or whoever you choose. I think it is definitely, it's something to learn. You don't go to the opera and expect to understand everything the first time. It's a process.
It's a young, immature market. There's a lot of people, despite this idea of transparency, there's a lot of people playing games, a lot of people kind of pushing certain things for certain reasons. So it is something to be very patient with. And my best advice is generally just to follow the artists, right? The beauty of this market, of course, is that many of the artists are collectors themselves.
Mhm.
So while I don't have the, I guess, technical digital expertise to kind of value quality, I know that the artists do. So
Mhm.
I kind of follow them and their eye and their collection in really deeming who is pushing the limits.
Yeah, well, that's very to the core, and actually, that's what has always happened in the traditional art world as well. I mean, it's like
That makes sense.
very common for artists to trade works amongst each other, and of course, you would only trade with somebody whose art you appreciate.
Yeah.
Or then collect. A lot of artists, painters or whatever traditional artists are collectors themselves. And I mean, I guess one piece of advice, I wouldn't just go on OpenSea and just buy any random NFT that comes at a low price tag. That is, we see a lot of that happening. I mean, that's fine if you like the picture, but if you are concerned with quality and maybe also value add, I would say,
OpenSea is literally just an OpenSea. It's a mishmash of everything that is considered an NFT, which is of course art, but it's also collectibles, it's in-game items. It can be a whole mess of anything. So it's probably a bad starting point. I think to Casey's next question, are there platforms where you can follow? Yeah, and so I'm the largest collector on Super Rare for a reason. And that's always been because they have had kind of the most tightly curated platform. And they have a focus on only one-of-one art.
Yeah, so that is really a key feature there. So I'm sure you've all heard of these so-called 10K projects where it's one art project that has, common denominator, but it's published in an edition of 10,000, or I mean, some are 1,000 or some are 100,000.
CryptoPunks being the most famous Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Correct. However, Super Rare from the onset has been a platform that will only offer works that are what's called one of one, which means it's unique. It's not an edition.
Correct.
Exists only one time, and there is really something to be said about that.
That is just one person having a connection with an artwork.
Yeah.
And being able to connect with that artist on that piece, that is where I began to make friends all over the world. Yeah, it's again, still very early stage, but we've seen pieces trade. I mean, obviously the People piece, but there's been multiple 7-figure sales on Super Rare.
Yeah,
for one-of-one artwork.
I mean, I will say it's like it's so transparent. It's for a traditional art world person, it's really mind blowing how you can access all the sales data.
Yeah.
There's all these various outlets that give you rankings of rarity of certain works and how they can develop and so on. So it's very new territory, but it can also get very confusing. I would say, yes, it is important to focus on, pick 10 artists that have already established names and look at their work and follow them on Super Rare or Twitter. The crypto community is mostly gathers on Twitter more so than Instagram or other outlets.
Yeah.
There's one more question.
Casey, I appreciate all your questions.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna move this over. Oh no, I can't see it anymore. Hold on. There we go.
How do you display your NFTs?
Firing away. How do you display your NFT? Is it only digital or do you display them in your home somehow? I am a total novice, obviously.
Yeah.
Good, very good question.
Very good question. So I run the Museum of Crypto Art, which is a museum that exists primarily in virtual reality. You can access it through a VR headset, you can access it through your phone, you can access it on the internet. My favorite experience with digital artwork is in virtual reality for the depth of the immersion, for the ability to blow these artworks up to tremendous scale, to really just become immersed and inside and put them in like environments and contexts that is a bit surreal and playful and would not be typically experienced in the real world. I'm also, we're here in this, church, and last night, for example, we were projecting artwork, 60 feet up on the ceiling and 40 feet wide. So the beauty of digital, of course, is that it travels, it's versatile. I also have a digital canvas, but for me, it's more about like size and scale and the ability to kind of play and manipulate that digital file.
To add to that, you can, so any NFT you buy on the Ethereum blockchain will automatically show up on what you have to connect your wallet, of course, but it will show up on an outlet such as OpenSea or others, and that's accessible on an app on your phone or on the desktop, or any digital outlet. You can put it up on your iPad and play it at infinitum, right? And VR, virtual reality, maybe just to bring this a little, pare it down a little bit, it sounds so futuristic, but I mean, ever since the Oculus, I would say, basically what you do is like you put on these like gargles and you can step into something that feels three-dimensional via this screen in there, and then you can interact and move around in it, and this has become so accessible. I mean, Oculus is now what, $300 or something.
Facebook is really driving down the cost.
So it's I can really recommend it. It's a great experience, I'd say.
It's fun. Yeah. We have.
Oh my God, more Casey? Come on. No. Okay.
You gotta click open.
All right, here, hold on.
What should we look for in an NFT? Making sure we're making a good investment.
Okay, let me repeat. What should we look for in an NFT artwork while making sure we are making a good investment? Ties into what we talked about earlier. I mean, look, I think it's no secret that there's been a lot of speculation going on.
Certainly.
And prices fluctuate at a degree that can be scary at times and seems very unpredictable. I do think that if you go by, can I say, natively digital artists who have been active in the space, given its tender age, you could maybe say 2 years is already quite substantial, no?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
So I think buying into an artist's work of that profile is a pretty good way to enter the space.
The only thing I'll add is that because the time frame is so short, it's hard to know whether anything is going to be a good investment. You're dealing with one of the most volatile currencies in the world in Ethereum, and then you're pairing it with something that is incredibly abstract, like new artwork. So, what I recognize is the value and the power of like the depth and breadth of the movement, and how just kind of like revolutionary and what a fundamental foundational shift it has been. So the only reasonable advice that I can give is to, buy artwork you love from, artists you respect, with money that you, you know, can afford to spend.
Yeah, that's good advice.
And it's really as simple as that. There is no golden formula. I, you know, obviously have knowledge of like who the market participants are, who the artists are. So I could kind of look and begin to like ascertain if this artist has good collectors or if like there's a lot of speculators in this market. There are like real patrons in this space and artists that I think are finding patrons that stick with them for the long term will succeed.
Do you think this is the Dutch tulip craze of the 21st century? I was actually going to end, and then I think that we're gonna have to wrap this up by saying that NFTs are definitely here to stay.
Yeah.
How exactly that will develop is uncertain. In terms of values, I think it's important to point out that yes, while Ethereum and Bitcoin and whichever other currency is highly fluctuates strongly, I've come to notice that most collectors refer to US dollar or fiat currency, as it's called, prices of NFTs.
Yeah.
So I think independent of whichever currency you buy the work in, the value, like the monetary value ascribed to it, is still based on our standard currencies. Okay, with that being said, I'm just going to play this last short clip, another one from Indelible.
Super.
And thank you all so much for tuning in. And yeah, feel free to reach out to us at Artnet at any time. Hold on.
Cause I'm VIP, so like D.I.E. Check this out.
Awesome. Hold on.